Welcome back. Just over a year ago, 7Artisans contacted me about testing out some of their filters, and they sent me 3 filters: a black mist filter, a ND filter, and a CPL or polarizing filters. All these filters are screw-on, and I did 3 of these reviews, and I'll post a link up here if you want to check out these reviews. 3 weeks ago, 7Artisans contacted me again and say, would you like to test out our new CPL polarizing filter? And I said sure, because I'd already tested their previous filters, but these were 82mm filters, great for my then Nikon 11-20, or now I can use it on my Nikon 17-35mm f4 lens. One filter that I've really been missing when I use my Nikon Z6II and the Nikon 24-85mm was a CPL Circular Polarizing Filter, because it has a 72mm thread. So when 7Artisans contacted me, I said, yes, please do, but send me the 72mm filter so I can test it out on the Nikon 24-85mm. Now there's a promotion by 7Artisans Filters for members of the Nikon Lovers Australia Facebook page. If you're a member, just go up to the Nikon Lovers Facebook page. There'll be a link in the description below, or you can go up to the Facebook page and click on the link and you can get a discount, not just on the CPL filter, but on any of their filters at the moment. You'll get a very good price if you're a member of Nikon Lovers Australia. A couple of days ago, I went out to Lake Eden. A circular polarizing filter is great for the clouds, great for landscapes, but it's also great at reducing glare off the water. So that's exactly what I did. I took quite a few different images around Lake Eden, some in the sky, some around the trees, to give a very good idea of what this polarizing filter was good for. Wait till the end and I will show you a photo. This photo has been edited. All the rest was shot in JPEG. And I'll also show you a little bit of video on how the polarizer works and how good it is, and just bringing that oomph into the sky, because we don't realize how important a circular polarizing filter is for landscape photography. So let's jump in and I will show you some photos of this filter at work. So this first photo here was taken without the filter on the camera, because I wanted to see how good the filter was and if there was any color cast. I just wanted to make sure that there was no color cast, because if a filter has got color cast, I'm not into it. It's the worst thing to have color cast when you put on a filter. And this is why I really like using these 7Artisans filters. Also, I have to mention that this video is sponsored by 7Artisans. They sent me this free of charge, but they said, take some photos. We don't want to see them. We just want an honest review from you. It is sponsored by 7Artisans because they've given me this filter after I've done the review, but I don't have to submit the photos for them to approve the photos or the way that I do the video. This photo here at Lake Eden shows without the polarizer put on. This next one here, only taken a couple of minutes later, was with the polarizer on. Now you can see there's a bit more sun on the trees. That's just because the sun came out from behind the clouds. But if we look from the first image here, you look up into the clouds on the top right, and this one here, the colors are just about the same. And that's very good. If you ever test out a polarizing filter and you see especially blues change color, you know there's something wrong. Some of them have got like a little greenish tinge to them. Yeah, I'm not keen on that. This one here, I just started walking around the lake. I took this photo. Now the filter is set to minimum, which means there's very little polarizing effect added to it. Now look at this image here, only taken like 10 seconds after. Look at the clouds. Can you see the definition? If I go back, the sky's fairly mundane here, but here the clouds pop. This is the beauty of a CPL filter. Now this one here, also look at that. This is minimum, very mundane. We can see there's definition in the sky here, but there's no impact. You can add a bit of this when you're editing, but having a good quality circular polarizing or CPL filter on your camera really helps, because the more you can do in camera, the better your final image is going to be. Now this one here is set just perfect. You can see there's quite a lot of definition in the cloud, but here's one problem that you've got to be careful with a CPL filter. Not so much when you're at 24mm for a full frame, but the wider you go. So when I use the Tokina 17 to 35 at 17mm, I've got to be very careful that I don't push the CPL filter too much, or this will happen. If you look on the image here, the center looks pretty good, but right on the edge on the right here, it's quite bright. And the wider you go, the more this will be in effect, that the center of the image will be darker than the outside. So this is something you have to be mindful. But look at this, you can see that this filter really works and there's no color cast. I also took some video when I was there. You can see it's set to 0 and I slowly wind it to get exactly what I want. But if I take it too far, it goes very blue. And if I keep screwing it around, it just goes back to 0 again. Look at this difference between this photo and the next. The filter set on minimum, which is basically 0, no polarizing effect on there. And look at that, only taken a few seconds apart. It looks a fairly mundane shot, but look what happens once you put the polarizer on. Look at the sky. We've got all that beautiful color in the sky, and look, we've toned down all the reflections. Look, reflections here, hardly any reflections. Now we can see all that beautiful grass. It's just mirroring in the water. Beautiful. Here, I just point the camera straight down to show you how good this 7Artisans CPL filter is. Now, it doesn't matter whether you get the 72, the 82, the 77, 58, whatever size you buy, you will get the same effect. They are the same filter, just the glass is cut at a different size. Look at that, cuts the glare out. We can see all the grass in the lake now compared to no filter. It's so good. I just about packed up and I looked opposite the sun and these beautiful streaking clouds. Again here, the filter set to 0. Now the filter is just set correctly. Here the filter is set to maximum, and this is something you have to be careful of. Not just if you're using 7Artisan, but just about all CPL filters will do this. That if you screw it too much, it will have a really dark area and a bright area. And that's the beauty of a CPL filter, that you can just keep screwing it because it's just two pieces of glass together. So it's not like a variable ND where you go from 0 to max. If you just keep screwing it, it just goes from 0 all the way back to 0. And it just goes like up a curve and comes back down again. The secret is to set it at the part of the curve where you like it, where this is the best. And I really want to see how good this filter was for glare when you're shooting into the sun, because a lot of filters, when you point your camera towards the sun, you will see flare on the lens, little green flares and all that. This is a photo. Now it's been edited just to highlight the photo a little bit more. I haven't done any removal of flare and all that. You can see the sun's just setting. There's quite a bit of flare around it, but I'm not seeing any sort of green streaks where the sun is hitting against the filter, creating like lens flare. This is very acceptable and it looks great. And this is why I'm really impressed with these filters, that 7Artisan have really got their act together in bringing high quality filters at an affordable cost. Thanks for watching. Go to their website, take a look at 7Artisan filters. They also make lenses. They are a very good company.